Hey everybody, welcome back. So good to have you in the studio with me today. You're watching Windows to Heaven Art. We're going to do this painting right over here. Just a simple acrylic painting. This is not a big production. It's going to be a short video. This is really more of a practice painting that I did, but I want to share it with you guys because I learned some stuff doing this painting that I think is valuable information for all artists. So yeah, we're going to do this painting together. You can watch me do it and learn along with me. So let's jump into the video. Yeah, just like I said, this is kind of a practice painting on a small canvas. And you can see that I'm jumping right in with a sketch. I didn't tone the canvas for some reason. I guess I just forgot. But generally we tone our canvases to help us judge color. You don't have to do that every time. I generally do, but I guess I just wanted to jump straight into the painting with this one. And for the sketch here, just like you see me doing, I'm just eyeballing it. I don't have any special method of putting this sketch on other than I'm just eyeballing it. Sometimes I just like to do that just because it allows a lot of your own artistic expression to come through when you do that. But if you're wanting to do a more precise painting and take a little bit longer on it, there are several other ways of doing a sketch that are more specific. And if you follow my channel, you may have seen some different ways that I put sketches on. For instance, sometimes I use a digital projector, sometimes I use graphite paper. Not going to be the case with this painting, just simply eyeballing it. It's all we need to do. It's great for practicing as well to do it that way. And another thing that I did with this painting is I went pretty quick. So the block in here that I'm doing, I kind of just sped through it. The whole painting really didn't take me that long at all. And I feel like that freedom that I allowed myself in this painting really benefited me as a practice study because I was able to not worry so much and get so caught up in the finished product, and I was able to kind of, I don't know, I felt like it allowed me to learn at a quicker pace by doing the painting quicker and a little bit more, for lack of a better word, haphazardly. Is this a gallery quality painting? Probably not. But when we allow ourselves to just cut loose and get in there and just practice without huge expectations, I think we can, first of all, surprise ourselves at how much we get into the painting and not only enjoy it but learn from it. But also we can surprise ourselves by maybe how quickly we were able to accomplish it or how smoothly it went, just because we don't have all that added pressure of I need this to turn out really, really good. So yeah, I really enjoyed this painting from that perspective. And who knows, I might end up selling prints of this on my website, but I like to do paintings like this every once in a while. I'll usually do them on small canvases, like I may have mentioned earlier. This is a 10 by 8 inch canvas, but it is a great way. What I'm trying to say is it's a great way to advance your skills as an artist, because you are able to just experiment some things that you probably wouldn't experiment with if you were trying to get a really nice quality painting done. Chances are you'd have it all planned out and you'd know exactly what to do. Whereas with a painting like this, you're able to be a little bit more free to explore different techniques and try different things out. And that's kind of what I did with this painting. And so I feel like I really learned a lot just from that with this painting. Now, I did have a reference photo that I was going off of, but it was a reference photo that I created using GIMP. So I did a lot of digital manipulation to it. And created something that was unique. So that's what I'm looking at for my reference photo. And I guess I wouldn't say that you always have to have a reference photo when you're doing a practice painting like this. But I feel like going the extra mile and getting that reference material really helped me in all of the learning, because I still had something that I was going off of that was a visual cue for me, that was a guide to show me kind of what I was going for. And so I had to learn by doing this painting how to achieve that and how to get there. So at this point in the painting, you notice that I am kind of redoing the peak in the background there, that snowy mountain peak. That's because as I was looking at it, I realized that it just seemed a little off balance. It looked like it was a little too close to the foremost turret there, which is kind of the focal point. So I wanted to go ahead and just move it to the right a little bit. So acrylic paint, really easy to do that. You just wait a minute or two till it dries. Chances are it's already going to be dry, but you can just paint over it and repaint it. So that's what I'm doing here. I can't pick a favorite between acrylic paint and oil paint. I feel like my go-to for doing these practice paintings will be acrylic, just because it's quicker, but then it's a little bit hard, because then you're like, well, you're practicing, but you're only practicing with acrylic paint. So I guess I will do practice oil paints as well, but I feel like I most often practice with acrylic. Not to say you have to do it that way. That's just kind of where I'm at right now. But acrylic paint is so quick and really rewarding for the time that you put into it. You don't have to wait for layers to dry, so you can pretty much just do a painting like this in one sitting. Now, because I'm painting on this white background here, I am getting a lot of glare with my lights. At this point in the painting, I realized that, and I didn't want that to affect the colors that I was using, because the light, as you can see there, is reflecting off of that white background, and it is just creating a really high exposure that I didn't want to affect the painting. So I stuck in a black background, and right away you can see that the quality of the picture improves just with a little bit deeper and richer tone and colors, which in the end will help you paint better. And that's basically just because the white background reflects light, but the black background tends to soak in the light. So it was a little bit of a issue before I got that black background in, I feel like, just because the lighting was so harsh on my eyes. And I don't know, I think it was actually just kind of annoying me a little bit too as I was painting, just to have that really, really bright reflection. So keep that in mind. That's a good tip, to really be conscientious about what lighting you're painting under, because the lighting does have an effect on your painting as you create it. I do have a video that I will link in the description box that talks a little bit more in depth about that, in case anyone is interested. You notice right here, I'm taking the painting and I'm flipping it up at an angle. It's a little bit of a hack for people when you want to make sure that you got proportions and lines correct. When you're doing a painting like this, you have architecture and buildings in it, so you want to make sure to get those relatively even, and putting the painting up on its end like that and looking down it really gives you a good perspective of your lines, and you can see much easier if they're working out for you, if they're straight, etc. At this stage in the painting, I spent a lot of the painting time working on building up a rock texture to the castle. And here you can see I am putting in some little snow details, which really helps a painting pop. That's actually my favorite part, I think, is adding in those final details. Don't make everything super detailed. That's a good tip for painting as well, is you don't need to have everything super detailed. Pick certain things to put your detail in. Your detail is going to be a nice punch to your painting, but you don't want punches to be everywhere because then it's just going to overwhelm the viewer. With me, I focused like pretty much all of my detail on this castle here. Everything else, if you look closely, is really not detailed at all. But I wanted the painting to be detailed in the castle because that's the focal point. So that's why I am adding in a lot of highlights from the sun coming in from the right, creating that more detailed rock texture. I used various colors. The warmer portion of the castle, warmer because the sun is hitting it, I used more warm colors like yellows mixed with a lot of titanium white near the end. And I used some cooler colors you can see in the shadowed portion of the turret there, which is going to be more like blues, reflecting maybe some of that snow coming up. But yeah, save your details for specific areas of the painting. I think that was something that I struggled with early on in my painting, was I just wanted, I felt like detailing everything was kind of like a given. Like you had to, if you wanted a good painting, the more, the more detail you put into it, the better it will be. That's kind of the mindset I had, but I really had to unlearn that. That's not true. With a painting, you'll get a really good pop with it if you reserve your details for specific areas. You can see I am keeping the snow really loose here. That just is because, like I said, reserving my details for the castle. I'm just basically highlighting the snow now. That'll be the finishing touches for the snow in the foreground. Snow is one of my favorite things to do, by the way. Super fun to do snow. A few more shadows in the turret, and we're ready for the final touch, which is just a simple eagle that I want to put in flying. You notice I went to a smaller brush just because I wanted to make sure that the eagle didn't end up too big, and that's all there is to it. Eagle is flying, and I did notice that the turret needed just a little bit more work as I looked at it, and voila, the finished painting. Thank you guys for watching. Well, that sums it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one, and until then, God bless you guys. We'll see you later.